Hey, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? CoinOpTV subscribers, Robert Welkner here with another CoinOpTV live and interactive on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/CoinOpTV. We got a big show here today talking to movies. Halloween is just around the corner. We're going to do a little scary movie debate with my man, Bluray Dan, who's joining me on the live stream. What's going on, Bluray Dan? Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you too, man. How's everything?
Everything is going well. If you guys are watching this live, make sure you chime in, leave us some questions, comments, concerns. Please no trolling, no spamming, or else we'll have to give you a timeout. If you guys are watching this on the archive, make sure you leave a comment also so we can discuss scary movies with you. So I actually wrote down, I jotted down like a little list here of, I just typed in like on Google, I was like, what's the scariest movies of all time? And some of these ones came up. So some of the scariest movies of all time came up: The Exorcist, Halloween, The Shining, The Ring, Psycho, Jaws, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Silence of the Lambs, The Blair Witch Project, A Nightmare on Elm Street. These are all fine movies indeed, but none of these appear on Dan and I's list today. That's why we're gonna give our opinion on what are our top 3 scary movies of all time. What'd you think of that brief list that I just threw out there? Any ones that caught your eye?
Yeah, The Exorcist movie scares the hell out of me.
Yeah, that's still a creepy one. It's always a debate. It's hard to come up with a top 3 or top 5 or top 10 of anything. But Dan and I were like, hey, let's just come up with something kind of fun and cool, and hopefully you guys will let us know. And some of these movies, I think all of our movies are kind of classics, so maybe they're past 5 or 10 years. Nowadays with movies, we're getting just a lot of quick jump scares, not a lot of organic, thing. I don't know, Dan, what's a good thing? What would you say makes a good scary movie? Is there something you can kind of pinpoint?
Yeah, a movie that makes something that you're not. I feel like now these other movies would just creep you out. It's just a weird skin crawling feeling that they always had.
We got in chat, Chad says, watch on the woods. TMP is in chat. Zekrom is in chat. Chloe's in chat. You kind of stuttered up a little bit there. Hopefully we don't lose you on the Skype feed there. I know you're in a different spot. Mostly when we see you, you're out and about in your studio. Now you're traveling, so we'll see how the internet goes. All right, so let's start with the list here. We got Dan's got 3, I've got 3. We're gonna bounce back and forth and chime in on why we like the movies, why we sort of pick them, stuff like that. So Dan, we'll start with you as always with your number 3 pick.
Absolutely. Okay, so number 3, it's a movie that I actually just saw recently for the first time, and I fell in love with it. And it's creepy. It's The Thing, directed by John Carpenter, starring Kurt Russell. Now, this movie, would you like me to read the plot line?
Yeah, give us a little tagline there.
All right, I'll give you the shorter one. It's the first week of winter in 1982. An American research base is greeted by an alien force that can assimilate anything it touches. It's up to the members to stay alive and to be sure who is human and who has become one of the things.
It's it's a vague. Dan and I were talking about this earlier. It's a vague synopsis of what The Thing is. What would you say in your own words The Thing is about without spoiling things?
Well, yeah, all right. In shorter terms, a little better explanation. There's this alien that invades this base, and it's able to take form of anybody that it comes in contact to. So you don't know who on your team. You don't know who is the alien, who's not the alien, and it's the whole movie is just it's a question of who's who do you trust, what's going to happen, and there's a whole creepy feel to it. It's really, really good.
And I think just re-released this week from Shout Factory with like a 25 anniversary or 30 anniversary. I can't do math in my head, but something like that. So yeah, Thing is a great movie for me, a great pick, one that I would include on my list. Our lists don't cars intersect this time around, so we've got 6 movies actually. This wind up being a new thing. But the thing about the thing about The Thing that really holds up to me is the special effects, a lot of practical effects. This is pre-CGI era, a lot of cool effects. Was there something that stood out watching it that you're just like, OMG, I can't believe this happened?
I believe there was a scene where one of the guys had gotten killed and the alien turned into his head, and his head's just crawling around. Really creepy, but very well done.
Yeah. There, one of the jumps I got was somebody dies and they're giving like the shock treatment to them, and like their chest sort of opens up and the hands just kind of go through and they bite them and stuff, and it's real gory. Don't watch that at night. If you're young, you'll have some nightmares. We got a few more people jumping in chat. Y-Rock's in chat. Y-Rock and I are doing a live stream a little later today talking about some Skylanders. We got Funny Bones in chat. All right. Anything else on The Thing? Did you ever see... So The Thing is actually a sort of a semi-remake of an old black and white movie, and then there's been another version, a remake of The Thing. Have you ever seen other versions?
This is the only one that I've seen. This is the only one so far.
Yeah, I did see the black and white one a long time ago on like TV, and... entertaining, but this John Carpenter one definitely put was one of John Carpenter's like
signature
really boosted things. So
yeah, very cool.
All right, let me get over to my number 3 pick. So here we go. My number 3 pick is going to be Hostel from 2005. Now we're going with the scariest movies of all time here, and this might be more on the sort of gore, horror, flavor, but what makes this movie scary for me is I've only seen it once. I never want to see it again because it scared the heck out of me. It's about these guys and gals that are over in like Sweden or something like that, and they're camping, backpacking, they're hipsters and they're cool, and half of them get sort of captured, and there's kind of this camp of guys who just want to torture people basically, and they sort of capture people, and as you can see in this image here, there's like a guy strapped down in a chair. He's about to get like body limbs cut off, eyeballs carved out, stuff like that, and it's just like something about being sort of trapped in a room with no way to escape and being tied down and having somebody cutting off some of your body parts and limbs, and just the whole mood and tone of it was so
There's nothing
creepy.
worse.
Let me get to the log lines. 3 backpackers head to a Slavic city that promises to meet their hedonistic expectations with no idea of the hell that awaits them. So if you don't know what hedonistic means, it means like, just really going all out to party and go crazy. And the ironic thing is that's kind of what happens is things get, pretty all out. Have you seen, Dan, have you seen Hostel?
I have not seen Hostel, no. Pretty much for the reasons that you say that you don't want to watch it again. I've heard a lot of stories, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to check this movie out. But I heard it's really good.
It's pretty gruesome. Don't be eating a burger or a steak or anything like that while you're watching. Just some light popcorn and some soda. It's worth checking out. At least I would say if this genre isn't really your cup of tea, I think Hostel is probably like the best of that thing. It was directed by Eli Roth, also, he's done a few horror movies and some acting as well. So, all right, Dan, let's move on to pick number 2 on your part.
Absolutely. So for my second pick here, we have a movie that I used to always love and watch when I was younger. It's called The Faculty. It's directed by Robert Rodriguez, and let's go ahead and give you the tagline real quick. To the students at Harrington High, the principal and her posse of teachers have always been a little odd. But lately, they've been behaving positively alien. Controlled by otherworldly parasites, the faculty try to infect students one by one. Cheerleader Delia, football player Stan, drug dealer Zeke, and new girl Mary Beth team up with some of the classmates to fight back against the invaders. Now, it's another alien type movie, but this is more parasite, and again, it infects a lot of the teachers in the school, a lot of the staff, and again, you can't tell who's who, and I think that's what creeps me out the most, when you don't know who is on the other side, and it has this whole creep feel to it, and it's a lot of fun, really fun movie. They're running away, and it's really, really good. Have you seen this one?
Yeah, I've seen The Faculty. I saw it when it was brand new, so I've only seen it once a while back. I remember it was like in a school and like a gym, and like there was like the students, the teachers, weird creatures. I remember the cast. Here's the cast photo on the screen here. We got Josh Hartnett, Elijah Wood. It looks like Usher. Who else is in this? This is like a cavalcade of stars here.
Oh yeah, forget it. Oh my God, the guy from the Lord of the Rings. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, Elijah Wood.
There you go.
I'm forgetting. There's like a couple of gals. There's like a brunette gal. I'm forgetting Was that Famke Jensen or something?
I think so.
Yes. So there was. It's always interesting when you look back at these movies. 15, 20 years now. It's like, oh wow, there's like when they were kids, when they were teen actors and stuff like that. But I remember it being sort of fun. Was James Vanderbeek in this one too, or was he in another? I seem to remember Vanderbeek was in kind of a teen horror movie at some time from Dawson's Creek.
You're right. I don't think it was this one. I really don't think it was, but now you got me questioning. I have to go back and watch it.
The cast is so big there that it's hard to remember all these people. We see James TH has jumped in chat, and Toy Movie Game Bros. Of course, Toy Movie Game Bros is a fan of toys and movies, so maybe you'll like this topic. So cool. So what else? Anything else on The Faculty that piqued your interest? Is there a good special edition Blu-ray or a good way to see this? Is this kind of circulated around?
Unfortunately, there's just a plain old bare bones Blu-ray. There's really nothing that's been released that I feel like it should get better treatment at some point, but currently it does not. It doesn't have any.
All right, get on that. Blu-ray Dan says we need a 20th anniversary special edition. Get on that.
Much agreed.
So my second pick has actually had multiple special editions over the years. It's a movie that sort of inspired me to actually want to go to film school and become a filmmaker. And it's kind of interesting to see how my second pick has sort of come back and circulated into the masses and pop culture. Dan, any guesses just from that setup? What I might say? Put you on the spot.
Man, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna have to wait to hear.
All right. So my number 2 pick is The Evil Dead, 1981, Sam Raimi. The reason why I say it's sort of circulate back is because we have like Ash vs. The Evil Dead TV show. So this is my number 2 pick. It's the synopsis or the log line: 5 friends travel to a cabin in the woods where they unknowingly refresh flesh-possessing demons. It's now the thing. Let me just explain a bit. You might say, The Evil Dead. It's kind of corny. It's kind of jokey. It's kind of hokey. We got Bruce Campbell doing funny lines and this and that. The first Evil Dead movie is creepy. It's scary. It's got a weird mood and tone to it. There's a rape scene by demon objects and stuff like that. There's all the zombies, just like the makeup, everything's real dark and brooding. And there's a few good scares where somebody's sort of walking around in the woods, demon guy pops up, or deadite or whatever they call him, and they give you a few good scares there. So Evil Dead 2 and 3, those are a little more on the jokey, funny side. But Evil Dead 1, if we're going for the scariest movies of all time, that's one for me. Have you seen The Evil Dead there? I
have seen The Evil Dead, and it's a creepy movie.
Yeah,
definitely a creepy movie.
And a lot of these, some of these ones that I was naming earlier, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Blair Witch Project, some of that low budget factors into the scare of the movie because the budget wasn't really there, so they didn't really show you everything on screen, so your imagination sort of plays in. So I think that was something that Dan was chiming in on as the psychology of scariness. The who's your friend, who's your enemy, not the unknown.
Absolutely.
I see we got a few more people. Let me give a shout out to James is in chat as well, and Chad says Blood-Sucking Freaks. Maybe that's one of his picks for scares movies. I believe I've seen that. Dan, have you seen Blood-Sucking Freaks?
That one I have not, no.
And Toy Movie Game Bruce says Freddy versus Jason. How about that? Any of the Freddy and Jason movies on your? We're going to reveal your number one in a second. But would you consider any Freddy or Jason movies in your top scary movies?
Yeah, they're classics and they're fun movies to watch. But they didn't make the cut. Maybe if it was a top 10.
I would say the first one, Nightmare on Elm Street 1, was probably the scariest. If I was doing a top 10 list, I'd probably include that. But top 3, that's that. So with that said, let's go for Dan's number 1 pick. I'm very excited for him to share this with you.
Yes. Oh man, this I love discussing this movie too. My number 1 pick is 30 Days of Night, a vampire movie. And forget it. This one, it's actually another one starring Josh Hartnett. And directed by David Slade, and I'll go ahead and read the tagline. In the far northern hemisphere, the small town of Barrow, Alaska, experiences a solid month of darkness every year. Though most of the residents head south for the winter, some towns and people remain behind. However, those that stay regret their decision when one year hungry vampires descend on Barrow, Alaska to feed. And that's basically it. Now, the movie it's so different. It's a vampire movie, but it's such a different take on it because I feel like it's so much smarter. Have you seen this movie?
Yeah, I saw it when it was new. I've seen it once. I remember the Alaska setting. I remember,
Yes.
I feel like there was something where they were kind of hiding or trapped in like a meat locker, frozen locker, or a train or something. I sort of remember the setting, but
the setting is actually my favorite part about it. Now, I'm a big winter guy, so I love snowy setting movies. And there's something about this where it's just really smart that, you think, you vampires can't come out during the day, so they usually wait till night. So they were smart enough to go to this town where it's nighttime for a month long, and they could just feast all day long. And I mean, the vampires, they're brutal as anything. They don't just have those two little fangs. They have all jagged teeth, and they just rip the people to bits. It's all about hiding and making it through the storm and making it through that 1 month until daylight comes back.
So is this? I kind of forget the premise. Do the people who live there know that this is a thing that the vampires come out like once a year for this month or something? Or is,
I believe this was the first time that the vampires did this.
Okay.
So it was new to everybody, and it's a brutal movie, and it's just a lot of fun, and it's creepy, and yeah, I mean, I remember even I'm not going to give away the ending, obviously, but there's something so creepy about when a movie ends and the credits roll and there's no music playing. It's just like an eerie, quiet humming noise, and it's like, oh man, this movie even finishes creepy.
That sometimes that inadvertently happens on my live stream. Our mic goes out, stream freezes up. You don't know if it's still going on or not. You're wondering, if it's there. So before we move on, so the director of that, you mentioned his name, and I'm just trying to think, wow, has he done anything else? Did he was this like his claim to fame, or has he done more things?
He's done a couple other things. Let me see it right here. I was tapping in before, but nothing too memorable. I mean, I see his name is on the Twilight Saga, Eclipse, Hard Candy, but other than that, I'm really not seeing many big films from him.
Yeah, so that's it's an interesting thing. Sometimes these directors, they get kind of hot, they make that movie, and they kind of blow up, and then politics get in the way. I feel like we're kind of seeing that with the Deadpool director now, with some of the behind the scenes for Deadpool 2, and if he's going to be involved or not and stuff. It's a shame that politics and money get in the way of like good cinema. Dan and I are big movie fans, and we just want to see that good movie, right?
Yeah, and now that I think about it, it's pretty strange to see that in 2007 he put out 30 Days a Night, such a horrifying vampire movie, and then in 2010 Twilight, the most cheesiest, corniest vampire, girl loving vampire movies.
Oh, so he did the first Twilight movie?
It says Eclipse. I'm not sure which one that is.
Yeah, for us Twihards, I believe Eclipse was. I think that might have been the third Twilight movie. I'm not sure. There, if you guys are in chat watching, let us know. Any Twihards, let us know. I've seen them all. They're Twilight movies. I'm a sucker for vampire movies, so I'll watch the Twilight movies, and that's another reason why I did check out 30 Days of Night when that came out, because of the vampires. So, okay, cool. Let me move on here. We got a few more people in chat popping in. Phoenix, Lewis, and Tyler say hi, Mr. CoinOp, and hi back to you. So my number one pick is I consider it a classic. It's one of those movies that scared me when I was really young. It's a movie that I can still get some jumps and creepiness, and it's one of those movies that, like, when I'm sitting around talking to other people about scary movies, I always go, oh, what about that movie? What about that movie? So I'm gonna go with Poltergeist for my number one pick. 1982, directed by Tobe Hooper. It says here that a family's home is haunted by a host of ghosts, and of course Tobe did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so he's got a little bit of an edge on horror movies. Now, Texas Chainsaw Massacre was sort of a low-budget horror scary movie. Poltergeist was a little more of a high concept, a budget movie. I believe Spielberg might have been the producer on that, or writer, producer, or something like that. But before I kind of talk about my thoughts, Dan, have you seen Poltergeist?
I have seen Poltergeist, another very creepy kind of movie. Yeah,
there's basically about 3 or 4 really good jumps, but again, Dan was talking about the unknown. I mean, ghosts, there's a lot of spiritual ghost things happening, chairs moving around. Somebody, gets sucked into a black hole and never be found. If you guys are fans of Stranger Things and you like that, there's a lot of stuff in Poltergeist that obviously influenced the guys from Stranger Things, you know, the other dimensional kind of stuff. But there's a couple of scares. I won't really say specifically what they are, but there's a couple of scares in there that, like, when I saw as a kid in the movies and still today, that still, you know, sort of make me jump out, and you know, the creepiness factor is there. So yes, so that's what I'm going to go with for my number one pick there. Dan,
Awesome.
anything I'm missing on Poltergeist there?
No, man, it's just like you said, just a creepy movie. Anything that could happen in real life. I'm not talking about the black hole or whatever, but anything where chairs are moving and, you know, the unknown really does creep me out. It does mess with my head a lot, so I try to stay away from those.
And it also has, you know, there's always kind of a formula with movies nowadays where it's like a little kid getting in trouble.
Yes.
And it was they kind of flipped it a little bit where, like, something bad happens to the kid, but it's kind of the adults that are doing, like, the freaking out and the panicking. And the actor from Coach, I'm forgetting his name, but he just had, like, really a lot of great, like, facial expressions and just like, oh, I can't believe this is going on. There's I want to talk about it, but, you know, I don't know how many people have seen it, so I don't want to spoil anything there. So,
Of course.
cool. All right. Well, let's see here. Let's see if anybody else has any other things in chat there. I'm waiting for my Twilight, you know, thing there. Of course, Poltergeist has had a few sequels, and they did have the remake. That's right.
Yeah.
Toy Movie Game Bros says Poltergeist 2015 was cool and scary. Have not seen the remake, but I heard it was pretty faithful to the original. I completely forgot about that when I was talking about that. Have you seen the remake of Poltergeist, Dan?
No, that I have not.
Yeah,
I have not.
when that comes to Netflix, I'll have to watch that. So there you go. So some of the things I was talking about, Evil Dead, Poltergeist, are still relevant today because they've cycled back. Of course, you know, vampires for Dan's picks, and The Thing was remade as well. So it's interesting to see what comes around. If an idea is good and fun, entertaining, it comes back around there. Carney's in chat and says hi. Jesse says hi. And Carney says creepy. I think they might be talking about the Poltergeist there. So, all right. Hey, thanks a bunch for watching. This was sort of a pre-Halloween episode. If you guys enjoyed it, you know, hit that thumbs up. If you guys are new, please subscribe. Also, you want to check out Dan's YouTube channel, youtube.com/BluRayDan. You're working on some videos. I know you've been sort of traveling and busy. You got some haul videos coming down the wire.
Absolutely, some haul videos, some movie night. Actually, I have a movie night video coming out of where I watched The Thing for the first time. So that's going to be cool.
Awesome.
Yes.
It's always a tricky one, saying, like, for so many years I've been saying the thing, you know, it's like that oddball title where just you sound kind of weird saying it, you know, out loud.
Absolutely, man.
So thanks all of you guys and gals and CoinOpTV subscribers watching on the live stream. Again, if when this is archived, I'll put Dan's links in the description below. Leave us some comments. Let us know what your top 3 scariest movies of all time are for CoinOpTV. We'll see you guys next time.